Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm back with another video. As I told you in the last video last Friday, we're gonna be looking at for loops part 2. Another way of using for loops. So before we start the video, I want you all to please go below, like the video, and subscribe and turn on the notification so when I upload, you always get notified. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So in the last video I gave you an exercise. I was asking you, I told you to find the sum of numbers in the list. Like let's say we have some list called numbers, and we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's run this, and we want to find the sum of all these numbers using the for loops we saw the other time in the last video. So if you didn't see that video, you first want to go check out the video in my Python playlist on my channel, and then you can do this exercise very easily, except if you already know Python. So we want to write a for loop for x in numbers. Okay, I hope all of you did the exercise. So, and if it didn't work, you will see how I do it, and eventually you know how to do it. So I'm going to declare a variable that's going to be called count, or no, I'm going to just say sum, and I'm going to give you the value of 0. And in here I want to say sum equals sum plus x. Okay, and then after this I'm gonna print sum. Say hey Python, print sum. Okay, so let's run it and see. So as you can see, the value of the answer of the summation of all these numbers in the list numbers is 21. So to make you understand it easier, we print x every single time. Okay, and run it. So the first one is, it takes, when x is 1, it does 0 plus 1, and then the answer sum gets the value of 1, and then x becomes 2, and we'll get back into the loop. The value of x is 2, so we'll print 2, which is 2 right here, and then the new value of sum is 2, and then we say let sum equals to the old value of sum plus the x, which is 2. So that before it was 1, now it will be 2 plus 1 will give you 3, and then it will do the same thing. X becomes 3, and then it prints out 3, and then let the new value of sum be the old value of sum, which was 3 plus 3, which becomes 6. Okay, so that's how it works. Another way of writing sum equals sum plus x, you could just say sum plus equals x, and it will still work. So you see, we still have the same thing, and everything works quite well. I hope I hope you all had the answer correct, or you figure out how to do this. So now I'm gonna move on with the other way of using for loops in Python. So last time we saw this way. Now another way of using a for loop, you could say for x in, there's a built-in function in Python called range, and you give it a number, In one of a video I did on list, we saw the built-in function length. Here we just use the built-in function of the built-in function length to know the length of the list numbers. So what range does, it creates numbers. It creates numbers that goes from 0 to the length of the list minus 1. So here the length of the list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So range will create range. X will have the values from 0 to 5. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yes, X will have the values from 0 to 5. So if we were to print X, let's say, hey Python print X and run it. Now we have X that starts from 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. What can you all realize just looking at this number that were printed out? If you look very closely, you could see something we saw on list, on the video I taught you all about list. If you look closely, you see 0 is the index of 1, 1 is the index of 2, and so on and so forth. So if you wanted to do the same thing that we did here, we just start using this form of loops. We could have said for X. You can pause the video and do this, and then come back and see the solution. So as I told you, to be good at programming, you always want to practice. So you have to pause the video, come back, and look if you did it correctly. So I'm gonna head on with the video. So for X in range length numbers, okay, and I'm gonna talk about it after, but I just wanted to say something, but I'm gonna tell you after I solve this problem. To solve it, to find the sum of the list using the other type of for loop, you still want to declare sum right here, and then you say sum plus equals. Now using the indexes that we saw on the video on lists, I want to say the name of the list is numbers square brackets X. So when you put the X, as you saw here, as I showed you here, the first value of X will be 0, so it will go in here. It will take the value at index 0, which is 1, and when the value of X will be 1, it will go in here and take the value at index 1, which is 2, and so on, and then it will add it to sum as we did in the other for loop. So let's run it and see. So I have to print. If I was to print sum right here, you will see its answer will be, sum, its answer will be 21, because we stored the sum of all these numbers in the value in the variable sum. So if you don't believe me, I can just do right here print. I can just say right here print sum and run it. You say prints every time it goes in the loop. This is the first value of sum, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then the final value of sum, which is 21. So if I was just to write it like this and run it, you say the value of sum is 21. Okay. So this is a way of using the for loop, and it's quite nice to use like this, but the majority of time when you're just working with this type of list, you want to use it like this. But after all, it works in both cases. So I'm gonna give you another exercise for the next video, because that's all I wanted to show you this video in this video. And then before I end the video, you have the piece of advice that as I started in the last video. So for the next video, I want your, let's say you have a list like in this alpha, which has, or no, let's say vowels. Yep. I'm not gonna write all the vowels in here, but I'm just gonna say a, no, can do it like this, A, B, or a D, but whatever. E. That will be my last letter in this list. Let's say you have this list, right? And using the for loops and what we have seen in all the videos, I want you all to write a for loop that would take just return like a list, that would just return a list or print out a list that contains only the vowels. Just like in this case, it would print out a list that has A and E. Okay, so that will be your exercise for the next video. So you just want to print out a list using the for loop, either this one or this one, that takes only the vowels in this list. So you want to also use conditional that we saw in one of our videos, one of the videos I made. So if you didn't watch the video, you can go watch it. It's on my channel. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. So if you have any comments, don't forget comment section below, like the video. And before I end this video, the piece of advice I can give you, what advice can I give you as a programmer? Yeah, the thing is that you never want to give up when it comes to programming. You never want to give up, because it can be very, especially when during exams or anything. If you are a student in computer sciences, if you're studying a language like Java, which is quite difficult, you never want to give up. You want to keep practicing. And the advice, something I used to learn programming, that our teachers showed us how to do it, but I was when they told us to do it that way, like I was like, why do we have to do that way? Actually, they told us to when we want to program, we first write it on the paper, and then we can test it on the computer. And even our exams in school, in school were on paper. I was just like, why are we doing that? But the thing is that if you start on paper, you kind of get to figure out all the mistakes by yourself. But if you just go straight away on a notebook like Jupyter Notebook or an IDE like NetBeans or anything like that, you will just be so dependent to the IDE, and you will never easily find errors. So you want to start programming or writing your algorithms on papers, and then if you think you are correct, then move to the computer. So that's the advice I wanted to give you for this video. So thank you for watching this video. I will see you on my next one, by God's grace, next Friday. So don't forget to like, share, and I will see you on my next one. Peace.